Trump, syphilis. The New Republic has a theory that Donald Trump may have contracted syphilis in the 1980s, around the time he looked like this. And Melania looked like this.
Something must have seriously gone off the rails for Trump at some point. At least, that's Chelsea Handler's theory. She even joked that his signature orange hue might be the tragic result of a self-tanner mishap involving an industrial-strength leaf blower. And the hair? Oh, she wasn't letting that slide. According to her, it looks like a failed science experiment. Like a squirrel got caught in a wind tunnel while desperately clutching onto a family of blonde guinea pigs. Chelsea imagined that every morning, a team of engineers, meteorologists, and optical illusionists huddle in a classified underground bunker to precisely calibrate the swirl.
Prepared and well-informed, and he said stuff like this.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
The only dead pet I know about is the one on your head, and she mopped the f***ing floor with it.
Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison.
Why can't you just be happy you'll have somebody to date when you get to prison, girl, huh? He lied about everything. He said he knows nothing about Project 2025. He lied about the 2020 election, and he lied about IVF.
I have been a leader on fertilization.
No, you're not. That's Nick Cannon, asshole. But Trump's biggest lie was about his health care plan.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
I don't want a world leader with concepts of a plan. A concept of a plan is what I have when I...
Or plot twist. It might not be hair at all, but a carefully crafted bird's nest, home to a deeply confused bald eagle questioning all of its life choices. And then there were the suits, because let's be honest, they deserve their own roast. Chelsea asked the million-dollar question.
We have a new president whose name is Donald Putin Trump, who the majority of Americans think is a huge fucktard.
Why do all of Trump's suits look like they were custom-fitted for a man who hoards dinner rolls in his pockets? Each jacket is some unholy fusion of a parachute and a Mar-a-Lago tablecloth. She joked that if you pulled the wrong hidden cord, Trump might suddenly take flight over Florida, flapping like a startled flamingo. And those ridiculously long ties? What's he stashing in there? Classified documents? Emergency escape ropes for the next time the FBI comes knocking? Chelsea had a theory. Maybe, just maybe, they're a desperate cry for help. A silent plea for a tailor with a measuring tape and a dream. Of course, Chelsea couldn't ignore the hands. She joked that if Trump ever got lost in a corn maze, he'd never find his way out. His tiny hands wouldn't even reach above the stalks.
Have Donald Trump on your show?
No.
What if he asked you?
No.
What about Melania? Would you have her on your show?
Melania? What, to talk about what? She can barely speak English.
What do you think about her as the first lady?
Exactly what I think about him as the first man. Mm-hmm. Nothing. I don't respect either one of those people.
Mm-hmm. If he were here right now, what would you say to him?
Fuck off. Mm-hmm. Fuck off. I mean, gross. He is the grossest. Physically, emotionally, mentally. Those statues they made of him were accurate.
Shaking his hand, she imagined, must feel like receiving a broken crayon from a toddler. Awkward, unsettling, and leaving you wondering how this man ever had access to nuclear codes. And then there's the pout. Why does he always look like he just bit into a lemon, only to realize it was actually a car battery? That signature scowl makes him seem like he just lost a staring contest with a microwave. Chelsea suggested that maybe he spent decades trying to hold back sneezes. Or maybe he's just permanently baffled that the world doesn't revolve around him. By the time Chelsea wrapped up, Trump was left looking like a human piñata after a chaotic 6-year-old's birthday party. Battered, humiliated, and stripped of whatever dignity he had left. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse for him, boom. Cassidy Hutchinson dropped some explosive testimony about his behavior on January 6th. According to her, when the Secret Service refused to let him storm the Capitol, Trump snapped, "I'm the effing president, take me there now." Classic. To which Bobby Engel, his Secret Service agent, calmly replied, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." And that's when things took a turn. Trump allegedly lunged for the steering wheel like a toddler who just got told McDonald's ran out of Happy Meals. Secret Service agent Bobby Engel had to step in and shut it down. "Sir, take your hand off the wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We are not going to the Capitol." And when that didn't work, well, he reportedly went for the agent's throat. Because when democracy doesn't go your way, the next logical step is apparently a half-baked coup attempt from the backseat of an SUV. Honestly, you couldn't make this up if you tried. When asked if she'd ever have Trump on her show, Chelsea Handler didn't even hesitate. No. What if he begged? Still no. What about Melania? Melania? To talk about what? She barely even speaks. And just to drive the point home, she made her stance crystal clear. I have zero respect for either of them. None. But she wasn't finished. Chelsea went after Trump's legal disasters like a chef slicing through a week-old steak. Sharp, ruthless, and mercilessly efficient. She tore into his history of shady deals, his mountain of lawsuits, and the never-ending scandals clinging to him like an over-applied layer of bronzer. If his life were a courtroom drama, it would have been canceled before the second episode. Even his own lawyers probably wanted to object, but let's be real. They're too busy planning their own escape routes before his legal bills take them down with him. And just when it seemed like Chelsea might ease up, she cranked up the heat, roasting him harder than an FBI raid with a fully loaded search warrant. By the time she was done, Trump wasn't just roasted. He was extra crispy, overcooked, and thrown out like a case of unsold Trump steaks. If words could leave bruises, Trump would be covered in gold-plated bandages by now. But since all he's got left are lawsuits and a dwindling fan base of tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, all we can do is sit back, grab some popcorn, and let Chelsea do what she does best. Torch him beyond recognition. And then there's Ivanka, the so-called voice of reason who was supposed to keep her dad in check but somehow vanished every time things got messy. When he announced the Muslim ban, she was skiing in Aspen. When he gutted funding for women's health, she hit the slopes in Whistler. When he fired Comey, she disappeared into the snowy abyss of Mount Conveniently Absent. Ivanka was supposed to be Wonder Woman, but at this point, we're all just wondering where she went. And to be clear, she's not skiing now because it's summer. Also, her dad probably tried to deport the snow. Now, let's talk about Trump's command of the English language, or more accurately, his complete lack of one. Chelsea Clinton didn't hold back. The man speaks in such a tangled mess of words that even Google Translate would throw up its hands and walk away. He can't finish a sentence without spiraling into a bizarre rant about how he's the best at everything, despite a track record that screams otherwise. Ask him about the economy, and somehow he'll pivot into a long-winded monologue about how he had the biggest inauguration crowd in history. Spoiler alert, he absolutely did not. Chelsea made one thing clear: Trump isn't just uninformed. He's so lost that even a sock that vanished in the laundry has a better sense of direction. And just imagine the conversations at Trump's dinner table, sitting in his gold-plated fortress with his family and Melania's rumored body double. On his last trip to Asia, he somehow managed to turn international diplomacy into a schoolyard game of Red Rover. Red Rover, Red Rover, don't let the immigrants over. Meanwhile, Melania met a panda in Beijing, and let's just say her Twitter game didn't exactly rise to the occasion. After the visit, she proudly posted, "Wonderful to met Goo." Yes, folks, these were the leaders of the free world. By the time Chelsea was done, Trump looked like a broken animatronic, glitching, dazed, and still desperately trying to convince everyone he's relevant. She did what great comedians do best, used the cold, hard truth to eviscerate the biggest punchline in politics: Donald J. Trump. So if you missed this legendary roast, don't worry. And if you're not, well, sit back and enjoy, because this is the comedy gold you've been waiting for.